Ladies and gentlemen, what is up? In this video, I'm going to rap on about this car. I said I was going to do an in-depth, long-term video on my 2009 e93 M3. I've done some separate ones on reliability and can you feel the extra weight of the convertible and so on and so forth. You can check the prior videos out, they're on the channel. But in this one I want to talk more in depth about the car itself and would I buy another one again and how's it been for me. And like I've mentioned before, I've had this car since 2010. I brought it up from the US. At the time, the Canadian dollar was at par or slightly higher, so it was an extremely good deal. I think I actually saved a few $1,000s and I got exactly what I was looking for. Trailered in from California. But in today's market, it's 2015. The Canadian dollar is at a 27% disadvantage to the US. It wouldn't make any sense. So would I buy another one from the States? No, not unless the dollar had risen again in Canada. But overall, I've been well chuffed with this car. I'm completely happy with it. It's the longest I've held on to any car that I've owned in a long time, actually. Had lots of fast cars. I haven't had great experiences with German cars, if I'm being honest. Like I had an Audi before this, and it had lots of problems. It was an S4 with the V8. Sounded beautiful, drove kind of nice. It was kind of nose heavy. I didn't really like the handling characteristics, and electronics would always fail. But this car's been awesome. BMW does not have the nicest interiors, if I'm being totally truthful about how I feel about it. You know, the Fox red leather's nice, and the trim and features is nice. It's very Spartan compared to Mercedes and Audi, and the button feels are not quite as, I guess, high quality as you get in the feel of turning an Audi button or pushing it. But I love the way it drives. I mean, when you buy a BMW M car, you're paying for something that has the dynamic characteristics of something that is a race car, but will live nicely on the street. It was tested by many car magazines when they brought this S65, which is a 4-liter V8, and automotive journalists raved about the car. I think I had an E46 M3 at the time when I first started to read up on it, and all the comments blew me away. They were talking about this engine being the kind of engine that Ferrari would have been happy to have produced and stick their badge on, which is a very high compliment. And the handling characteristics and the acceleration times of the car were brilliant. I mean, I think Car and Driver tested this with launch control and the double clutch transmission, 0 to 60 in 3.9 seconds, and quarter mile around I can't remember the time exactly, but it was around 114 miles an hour, which is pretty quick because if you're looking at something like a Lamborghini Gallardo, 5.2 V10, they were doing them around 120 miles an hour at the end of the trap, and maybe a couple tenths of a second faster. So it's a very fucking fast car. Launching it and ripping through the gears, it's a very fast revving V8. One of the first things I noticed when I test drove the car was how quickly the V8 revs. And I used to ride lots of sport bikes. I had about 5 different sport bikes, Ninjas, GSXRs, things like that. And one thing that I was always, I guess, happily fond of with sport bikes was how quickly the engine revs. And we'll go through the gears, and you know, you can blip and downshift and everything. And the first thing I noticed about this car when I drove it was how quickly an engine revs. For a 4-liter V8, it's a very fast revving engine, 8,400 RPM redline. It doesn't have a lot of low down torque, which is okay. It still has enough to get the car to get up and go, and as you can see, I'm sitting in stop and go traffic right now, so it's not like, you know, I'm racing around the fucking world blazing trails. But I'm heading downtown Toronto for my brother's birthday, so this is where I'm at right now. Quick car, very comfortable, has change dynamics when you push the M button. It will stiffen up the suspension, the steering. It will certainly sharpen the throttle response. You don't get any more power out of the engine, but it does a lot of great things really well. This is a convertible. I like convertibles. I like being able to put the top down. People will bash, you know, cab owners and say you're just a poser, you don't really care about handling dynamics and blah blah blah. Okay, well, it's a little heavier, so what? It's like driving around the racetrack with a couple of fat chicks in your car. It's going to be an inconvenience, but the car will still go fast. The looks of the car. Now, this is not a this is not a car that's going to get women's attention. A woman typically cannot tell the difference between a 328 and an M3. Just being honest. I've never had you know, women run out of the gas station or a store and be like, "Ah, I love your car, it's beautiful, blah blah blah." It's always dudes, it's always kids, you know. They're always approaching me and talking about the car and the looks of it, and oh, the M car is my favorite car, and it's, you know, it's a fucking cool car, it's fun, but it's not anything that's gonna get the attention or eyes of a woman. If you want that, go buy a Ferrari or a Lamborghini. Actually, don't even buy a Ferrari. You need something that has more poise. Lamborghini will do something like that. I showed a picture of a Ferrari Scuderia to a woman recently, and she said it looked like a Corvette. So, that being said, if you want to get a woman's attention, buy something that, you know, that their eyes gravitate to. I didn't buy this car for that sort of thing. I bought it for myself. I bought it. It's more understated. Guys are the only people that notice the difference between a standard 3 Series and an M3. The truth of the matter is 70%, 75% of the car is completely changed over a regular 3 Series. Some people will bash M3 owners or any M owner and say, well, it's just a blah 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 that's hyped up on steroids. Well, it's kind of true, you know. Almost every panel on the car is different, with the exception of the door skins, and I believe the roof on the convertible is identical to a standard 3 Series. But the fenders, front and rear, the hood, the front fascia, the rear, everything is completely different on an M3 versus a standard 3 Series. There's really not much that hasn't been changed. Suspension completely changed, obviously wheels, brakes, engine, everything. It's unique to that car. It's a very unique and special feeling when you drive it. Anybody that I've passed the keys to on my car that's driven this, they've come away with a massive smile on their face. They're like, I get why you like this car. It's just a phenomenal car. I mean, if you're considering a car in a $40,000 to $50,000 range, I'm talking Canadian dollar now. This will cost less in the US. I've seen these go for as low as $30,000 in Canada on the Auto Trader. But if you're looking to spend something between $40,000 to $50,000, you can't get a better car. I mean, you can get something a little bit faster. You can buy a Corvette Z06 for around the same money. That'll be quicker, but it drives like a fucking tractor. It doesn't have that refined German feel. It's got leaf spring suspension. It just doesn't go the same way that an M3 goes. It's not. It's going to be faster, and you'll actually get better fuel economy with a tall 6 gearing, but it doesn't have the same feel. Women also tend to look at Corvettes like, you know, it's kind of rednecky as a car, whereas German-esque or M cars are a lot more appealing and fun for me to drive anyway. So for the money, it just can't be beat. Would I buy another one? Absolutely. The new M4 is beautiful. I love the way it drives. I've test driven it. The only thing I don't like is the active sound through the speakers. I'm sure there's a way to disable that. But aside from that, it's a beautiful car. They continuously evolve and improve M cars. You know, the E92, E90, E93, which is this chassis, is significantly improved over the E46, which was a 2002 to 2006 model run. This is a 2008 to 2013 or 14 model run. And then the F-bodied ones, the newest ones, they're even quicker and more efficient. You know, on the Top Gear test track, the E92 M3 was 5 seconds slower than a new F-body M3. So it's a significant improvement. I like the M2 as well. I'd like to drive one to see what that's like. I do like small, compact cars that are tight, that drive really well and give a lot of dynamic feedback. So it is a car that I would recommend looking at. I mean, what would you compare it to? I've driven an RS4, which is comparable to this, which is nice. Again, it's front end heavy, beautiful engine, nice sounds, beautiful bodywork. Only available in a 4-door though. You could get it in a convertible in the US, not in Canada. And a C63 AMG Mercedes really is on the same par, but it's kind of more of a German muscle car. You know, it's very shouty and muscular and, you know, machine gun sounding exhaust. Out of the three, I'd pick this, but that's just my preference. Go out and drive them, see what you like. Highly recommend it. I just passed 80,000 kilometers. Car's been beautiful. All it's taken from me is gas, oil changes, and a brake flush and a coolant flush, and that's it. No mechanical issues whatsoever. They're reliable. Don't let anybody tell you that M cars are not reliable. They're fucking great. They don't have any Vanos issues anymore with the engine. They fixed that from the E46. So I'd highly recommend looking at it. Check out things like an S5 from Audi, an RS4 from Audi. When you're getting to an RS5, you're comparing it to more like the new F-body because it's got a lot more power. But yeah, I'd highly recommend driving one. So I hope that answers your questions, guys. If there's anything I've missed, throw them in the comments below. I hope you're enjoying the video. Talk to you guys later. Have an awesome day. Peace!